All right, all right, all right. How's it going, everybody? This is Wednesday, and I just wanted to do a quick follow up to my four stock picks. Uh, I made that previous video the other day, and I chose uh, Marvell and Soundhound and Symbiotic and oh, what was the other one? Alta. Oh, I can't remember. Here, let's check it out real quick. ALT, Altamune. Yeah, Altamune. And yeah, I went ahead and pulled the trigger on the Altamune and took my profit. I ended up only making $12 uh, off of it, but that's okay. I made the profit, and it's a stock I like I said, I wasn't gonna do anything long term with it. I was just looking for a quick profit on it, and I got it. So I ended up making like 12 bucks, and that was I want to say like a 7% profit. So my personal feelings is I have done well if I can get a 7% or more gain from any position I have on the stock. So I was very happy with that. But the thing I wanted to get into was Marvell, and I had mentioned that Marvell is not a very sexy stock right here, Marvell. And I only bought 10 because it's expensive. It was 95.70 per share, so that significant investment. Uh, and at the time, I said, maybe 97, 97.50. You know, hang on to it. Excuse me, long enough, and you might get $100 or something, but it would take a long time because it's just not a sexy stock. They uh, they do uh, they are the number two company in America that makes the server farms, data centers, that kind of stuff. They do the actual building of it and supply all the copper wires and fiber optic systems and all that kind of stuff that allows these server farms to communicate with the outside world. And so they're kind of a nuts and bolts company. And you know, uh, let's go check the chart out here real quick, and you can see just from a 3 month, they've had decent gain. They were down here in the 70s, and we're headed on up. Let's go to a 5 year. Okay. Uh, you know, 2022 ups and downs, ups and downs. Some nice averages here uh, for quite a long time. Had some nice average in here at about the $40 range or so. And then within a year later, it kind of averaged out in here, 56, 55, $56. And then here this last year, it bumped up to 70. So it had a nice average of around 70 in there. And only here in the last month or so, couple months, uh, has it started edging up. And the reason why has to do with the AI uh, tech surge, investment in anything AI or anything to do with AI, and that's almost all technology stocks and internet uh, service stocks and things like that. So there was going to be a slight increase anyway, and that was one of the things I was counting on. But I did not expect the jump that we had today. Uh, it just went through the roof. So on a stock I bought just a couple 3 days ago, um, I'm up 22.86%. That shouldn't happen. 2.86% is very possible. 1% expected. minus 1.5% would be expected. This is not a heavily day traded stock. It's nobody knows about it. It's not sexy. It's not like Amazon or something or Walmart. So why the big jump? This is ridiculous. I predicted it would go up by a few dollars, maybe break 100. It's kind of a low risk stock in that because they're the number two company, they're not going out of business. Uh, they'll get bought out or something, or absorbed before they'll ever go out of business. So, what is the deal? There's no reason for a big jump like that unless there's acquisition talks or anything. But this is not the kind of stock that you go and acquire. So what's the deal? Well, let's go take a look at the recent news, and then today, of course, is the 4th, Wednesday, December 4th. Just today's headlines, the company news, and there's always articles on stocks that come out, and most of it's just garbage. They're just trying to pump it up, and there's no real news. But this one right here is what jumps out, you know. Marvell Technology posted solid quarter 3 results, stronger guidance, Morgan Stanley says. But here's the big one. Deutsche Bank raises price target on Marvell Technology to $120 a share from 90. $30 jumps. Keeps buy rating. And then they haven't paid a dividend, or they paid a dividend, but it was just 6 cents, very small. But let's go back up here and look at this. This is Ally, by the way. This is their analysis chart on this thing. They've got it set at an 8. Down here it says Morningstar rates as a fair value. 2 out of 5 stars, because it's not a sexy stock. It's not something you expect huge gains in, but it has a strong buy. So if you got the money and you want to sock it away in a company that is pretty steady, let's look at the 1 year on this thing. Look at this. I mean, that's pretty steady around $70, right? But it's not going down. I don't know what here's their all time. Okay. It's not going down. It's always going up. So pretty steady, nice gains, taxable event if you take profits, but but the Deutsche Bank. Okay. Well, so that's nice, but what's the deal? Well, Deutsche Bank. Okay. Deutsche, of course, is German. It's a German-based bank, European. European money sees that and they're like, "Oh, I trust Deutsche Bank. If they say this is a good one, hey, let's get in there and put some money in it." And I think that's where the money is coming from. Is a lot of European money is coming in today. So let's go back and check this thing out. So, I was just expecting a few dollars. Hang on to it maybe long enough I could get a dividend out of it. And then by then the price had gone up, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10% at the most. And sell this sucker, and take some profit. Wow, this is just crazy. Let's go back to, let's do a 1-day chart. And then you can see where it's edged up to $119.21. So well above what I was thinking it was going to be. I was down here at $100, and this is just a shock that it jumped up so high. Well, this is when you take your profit. Like I said, not a sexy stock, not a big mover normally, and dividend, but a small dividend compared to the money you have to pay per share. You can get better dividends on bank stocks and oil stocks. So, now is the time to sell. So 119.21. 1860. Let's go ahead and sell, and I'm up 22%, $229. Let's sell. Let's sell this sucker. And let's see, Marvell, sell 10. It says 1860. No, I want to go up. I want to go up to, let's go up to 1890. Put in a good till cancel. Preview the order. Yes. Yes. So 1188. So 1188. 1188. So that would bring me in at $231 profit on the stock I've only owned just a few days. So let's go to my activity and look at Marvell. And so I bought it yesterday. That's right. I bought it yesterday. So yeah, bought it at 95, and hopefully we'll sell it here before the day's end. So yeah, wow, very happy with that. And you never know when you'll hit lightning. You just never know. So yeah, anyway, just wanted to update everybody. So of the 4 stocks that I suggested people look at and do their own research and figure out, if they wanted to, invest a little money, make some quick bucks. Small amounts. I'm a small time investor. And so if I make $10, $20, $30 off of a stock, I'm happy. You will never see me crying to the bank, all the way to the bank. I mean, I'm happy with such small gains because I do this enough, and that by the end of the year, my $10, $20, and $30 gains, and in some cases hundreds, I luck out every now and then. By the time I get there, it's thousands, and in some cases tens of thousands. So I'm happy with that at the end of the year. Even after the tax man comes, I'm still happy with that because it's a hobby for me. But anyway, I'm pretty good at it. I rarely have a loser, and even my losses tend not to be losses. If you don't know what I mean here, I'll come down here and give you an example. Yuma Energy, small energy stock. At one point was on the pink sheets. Anyway, it was a penny stock, I think, when I bought it. Maybe it was over $2, I don't know. But anyway, bought a whole bunch of it. And the way I operate is at the time I was doing that kind of risky thing. Okay, so it looked like it had potential, it was going to go up, which it did. So when I sold it at that time, because it was a dividend-paying stock, I sold enough to break even, get my money back. Right? So the worst I could do was break even. And then any amount of shares over that, I would sell one more for the profit to say if it was available. And in this case, it was 30 shares, 330 shares, 300 shares, 30 shares, doesn't matter. Anyway, so I sold enough that I had an even number, yet I made a tiny profit, just a few dollars. But I still had shares in the company left over. And so I was like, okay, hang on to it. If it pays dividends or goes up, I can sell it at any time, blah, blah, blah. So at least I'm not losing money on the deal. And so that's what I did. And in this case, they had a 10-to-1, stock split. And then they had another 10-to-1 stock split because they were running into financial troubles. And anytime companies do that, they're about to die. And so I ended up with just 2 shares from 200 or 300 or I don't know whatever it was, whatever the number was. I ended up with 2 shares. And by the time the splits got done, that penny stock became $52.50 a share, which I can assure you it would never got up that high. But so I'm showing a loss of $105, but I actually haven't lost money. I actually made money on that stock, but it's still on my board here, and I don't even know if they're still in business. I don't know if they still trade on the pink sheets. I don't know anything about them. So I think maybe they do, but it's basically a defunct company. So unless somebody wants that stock symbol, it's lost money. But again, I didn't actually lose any money on it. I came out ahead. Um, anyway, but that's just an example. Well, I don't typically do that anymore. I buy it all and sell it all. Uh, there are a couple stocks on my thing here that I'm keeping for the dividends, but they are subject to be sold at any time. Comcast, I'm hanging around on it, and I put an open order to sell 5 shares at $45. Well, it's not going to sniff $45 for a while, um, but eventually it'll probably edge up there. But in the meantime, I'll just take the dividends off of that. So it's a small amount, but I'm not worried about it. But at any time, if I need to sell that in a hurry, like today, if I needed to sell it, I'd at least make $2 off of it, plus the dividends that I got, because I've held it for 3 or 4 months now. So that's just kind of a rundown of what I do now. Uh, I'm gonna do another AI stock roundup, and people can look and see like this, like C3 up here. Uh, oh, and Palantir. I'm big in Palantir here. It's come down today, but it was 112% yesterday. Uh, and then SoundHound is just really kicking ass for me. Another stock I bought just a few days ago. Symbiotic actually was up earlier. It's come down here in the last few hours, but it was actually showing a profit earlier. I could have sold it. Uh, I may still go ahead and put it in order. But anyway, I sold my AT&T 10 shares or whatever it was, and this is just the dividends that it gotten paid. Hasn't cleared the board yet. Uh, but that was 200 or 300 bucks. Um, let's see, 20, 23. So it was around $230. Um, let's see. I think that's it. Oh, Ionic. Here's Ionic. It's gone up a little bit, tiny amount. Uh, yeah, Data. So anyway, I'll do that later. Anyway, all right. Thanks for watching, guys. Uh, do your own research. I'm not a pro. I'm just winging it. Uh, but man, I've become pretty good at spotting the companies that uh, have at least short-term gain potential. So you're not holding on to this stock for a long time to get a gain off of it. Uh, anyway, give me a follow, whatever you got to do. I appreciate any help like that. I'm trying to build up my audience on YouTube again, and also Rumble, which I prefer. Thanks for watching and listening. Catch you later.